Hi, I'm Shelly and welcome to In the Box training. For this session you might need paper and a pen to take your own notes, or you might just need a device that you would normally use to note take. Your organisation is starting to understand the real importance of trust. Now think of a time when you had a trusted colleague and you got on really well with them until there was an overreaction of some sort. Perhaps there was name calling, perhaps there was an anger outburst, perhaps there was swearing, perhaps you could overhear them bad-mouthing another colleague, perhaps they attacked you. And I want you to think about the lasting effect of that particular situation that you have in mind. How long did that impact you for? Could you get on well with them after that? What was your productivity like with that person afterwards? Did it affect just you or other people as well? Did that person eventually resolve it with you, or did it sort of leave itself as an icky feeling between the two of you? Now this whole session is specifically to avoid those icky feelings and that lasting tension. It's because when a situation arises and you feel a very emotional response to that situation, or you get angry or really upset and almost enraged, that you are in the box at that moment, and the key point here is not to react when you're in the box. Let's break it down. Now it's completely normal to have an emotional response to a big upsetting piece of information. Now the important thing is to pay close attention as to how you're feeling on the inside. What are your emotions at the time? What are the thoughts that you're feeling at the time? And recognise that they are strong emotions and they are overwhelming at the time. Now the normal human response is that you want to fix it straight away, and that you'd like to have control or power over a situation where perhaps you were powerless before. The key here is that when you're in that emotional state, you're very unlikely to end up with a good result. Let me say that again. When you're in an emotional state, you're very unlikely to end up with a really good result if you tackle it at that time. So whatever you do, you absolutely do not react when you're feeling strong emotions. You don't send the email. You don't storm out down the corridor to talk to that person. You don't ring them up. You don't make demands. You do at that time nothing except recognise that you're in the box. Now let's talk about the steps when you're in this emotional state. All you need to remember is ETC. The first one is emotions. What emotions are you feeling? Where are you feeling them in your body? Is it in your head, your shoulders, your chest? What sensations are there for you, and how strong are they? What thoughts do they make me think at that time? I'm going to get that person back. So recognise your emotions, recognise the thoughts that you're having, and that's where you absolutely do not react. Even though it's extremely hard, don't react at that time. Then the next thing is, well, when you're calm and you're back to your rational self, that's where you think about the T part. There's ETC. What is the truth? That's what the T stands for. Well, the truth of the situation is, well, the other person might not have known that that was a problem. What's the truth of this situation? Well, the other person didn't know that that was really important to me. So the truth of the situation is what will help you rationalise why you're upset and what you're going to then do about it. And the C is the choice. What choice am I now going to make now that I'm calm, now that I'm rational, now that I'm sensible, now I can see it from the other person's perspective? What choice am I going to make now that will maintain and even build trust instead of tear it apart? So ETC. Now here's a personal example of mine. I build fairly large sculptures. And the other day, one was so large that I asked my husband to move it for me because it was too awkward for me to lift. He broke off two parts that had already previously broken off that I had fixed to perfection, and I was so upset about it at the time. Now at the time, my emotions took over, and I was so angry because this is something that I had killed myself to finish. I realised I was in the box really quickly, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm in the box, say nothing more. Afterwards, when I was calm, I thought, okay, my emotions took over at the time. The thoughts that I had were, oh my God, I can't believe I've got to fix this bloody thing again. I don't even know how I'm going to tackle it. I'm so cranky. Now that I was calm though, I'm thinking, what's the truth of the situation? This is the T part, the ETC. The truth is, I didn't tell him to be careful of the certain sections that might break off. I didn't tell him not to pick it up and throw it over his shoulder like he did. And I wasn't there with him in picking the whole thing up to negotiate. He's going to do this side, I'm going to do that side. What choice am I going to make? Well, the choice I made afterwards was I talked to him about ways and means I could fix it. So in the end, we still maintain a good rapport and relationship because I realised it was in the box and I used my ETC methods. Now it's time to think of a situation in your personal life, but not at work, where you did find yourself in the box. You're about to partner up with another person and you're going to talk about the situation, how you felt, and what your reaction was. Now that you're calm, what's the actual truth about that situation? What better choices could you have made at the time whilst you were in the box? When you hear the music, you have 18 seconds to finish what you're saying. Your 90 seconds starts now. What are you going to do and what will you commit to when it comes to when you're triggered and you're overwhelmed with strong emotions and you're in the box? Remember, ETC, emotions and thoughts. What emotions and thoughts am I feeling? And then do nothing, don't react. T, when you're calm and only when you're calm, what's the truth of the situation? What's the reality here? See it from the other person's perspective. Then C, what choice am I going to make that is going to maintain or even build trust? What can you do when you see that someone else is in the box? You can pick it a mile away. When you're not the one upset, you can pick it when someone else is upset and they're about to react badly and break trust. What can you do the next time that you see a colleague is in the box? Can you say, are you in the box? Can you offer to take over and get that work done while they calm down? Your 60 seconds starts now. Some ideas about what to do when you're in the box or when someone else is in the box. Remember, ETC. And that concludes this particular workshop. You now have some tools to use when you find yourself overwhelmed by emotion that will maintain trust.